Live from Rialto, California, Mark Flores presents Retrocollecting 101. Tonight's topic, CD-based consoles you need to stay away from. All that and more here on Retrocollecting 101. Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of Retro Collecting 101. I'm your host Mark Flores, and tonight's topic is CD-based consoles you need to stay away from. Consoles in general you need to stay away from as far as retro collecting goes. But before that, let's get the commercials out of the way. Tonight's episode of Retro Collecting 101 is brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro games and next-gen consoles. That's PS2 and Xbox, PS2, it's talking about the topics tonight. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. You can come into contact with Game Swappers via Instagram at GAMESWAPPERS. That's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers. Buy, sell, and trade. Keep in mind, guys, that Game Swappers' buy, sell, and trade event entitled Retro Respect is going to be Sunday, June 26th from 1 to 7 p.m. We have free parking, free participation. If you want to bring a backpack with stuff to trade, stuff to sell, and bring an empty backpack to buy some stuff, heck, we have it for you there. There's going to be over 10 vendors, including Game Swappers, buy, selling, and trading retro games. So feel free to come on down. It's going to be at the Finish Line Sports Grill in Pomona, California. Feel free to come on down. It's going to be Sunday, June 26th from 1 to 7 p.m. I'll for sure be there. I just don't know what time I'll be there. It's going to be after work, so I'll definitely be there as well. Tonight's topic, CD-based consoles you need to stay away from. If you're barely starting your retro collection and you're looking for consoles to find and resell to amass your collection of whatever else console you'll find, these two you'll need to pretty much stay away from. In the beginning of my retro collecting adventure, I'd say about almost 5 years ago, there was a lot of miscommunication from other people, and a lot of it actually stemmed from people not telling me and me not asking, but also me not being educated myself on what was worth money or not. I made the big mistake of actually buying any and every which thing and thinking it was going to be a great turnover when it wasn't, and I was stuck with a lot of paperweight along the way. These two mistakes I've made, and I need to make sure that you're aware of it as well. This is only for the people that actually do not know what to collect and what not to. But these two consoles you just need to stay away from. And I'm not talking about the CDs, the actual games themselves. I'm not talking about any of the other stuff. But the consoles themselves, due to the fact that a lot of people kind of have a base price on what they think these consoles themselves go for, it's not really wise for you to buy them and for you to resell them for any form of either store credit or even actually buying them to resell them at a profit. If you're barely starting your collection, you need to stay away from the 2000s CD-based consoles. The Xbox and the PlayStation 2 are terrible to hoard and console-wise. Buying the consoles themselves isn't really a smart move. I say you should stick to more of just the games themselves. The games themselves hold a lot more value than the consoles themselves. The consoles, the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, the first Xbox, actually sold millions and millions of consoles. So the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of them out there, and it's not like the consoles before them, like the Sega Saturn, the Nintendo 64, and the Super Nintendo. It's not like those where they were made. They sold a lot, but not as much as the Xbox and the first Xbox and the PlayStation 2. Speaking of that too, the first PlayStation as well as you need to stay away from as well. The PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and the first PlayStation you definitely need to stay away from. That's based on the fact that there's a lot around that you can pick up for fairly cheap. And another thing is that they made so much in quantity, it's really not a great profit margin for you to get them. Usually at some thrift stores you'll find an Xbox a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation for around $15 to $25. That's how much they go for nowadays at retro game stores. So you're not really looking at much of a profit if you start hoarding or start collecting the Xbox consoles, the PlayStation 2 consoles, or the PlayStation consoles. It's really not wise for you to do that at all. Sure, some games are rare, but the consoles themselves are not worth collecting nowadays. Like all things, you'll be able to gauge and see how much you'll be able to get them for. If you're getting the bundle plus, if you're getting a bundle like the game, a few games, the consoles, and the controllers, you'll be able to gauge and to pick apart everything to see how much of a profit margin you're getting to resell the console, or to get the console at like a store credit. If you actually are able to see and to see that you're actually getting it for more than, if you're getting it for like $5 or anything around that range, $5 to $8, then by all means go for it. But nowadays it's really hard for people to price them that way. I've went to several thrift stores and to several Goodwills where a lot of people are pricing them from $15 to $25. For you to make a profit margin off of that isn't really wise. It's best to stay away from these consoles themselves. A lot of them don't work. Most of the Xboxes I know are beat up. Some of the trays do not pop open on the Xbox. And even in terms of the first PlayStation is not really worth getting when you actually have the retro, the backwards compatibility as you have on the PS3, the PS2 as well. The PS2 can play PlayStation 1 games, and that's pretty much what you'll need. So pretty much, in all seriousness, the first PlayStation is now a glorified paperweight. Yeah, sure, you can collect it for the nostalgic reasons, but why would you want to plug up a PlayStation versus a PlayStation 2 when the PlayStation 2 has a DVD player, has the capability of playing your first PlayStation games? Why would you would waste time setting it up? It'd be nothing but, like I mentioned before, it'd be nothing but a glorified paperweight. I'm only telling you guys this simply because it's more of a PSA than anything. This is not really an expedited segment, but I want to make sure it counts as one episode simply because of how I can't stress the importance of this. Collecting for if you go to the thrift store or if you go to the swap meet and see that the first Xbox, the big Microsoft Xbox, the first one, and the PlayStation 2 are going for about $20 to $25 with no games or anything, it's best to stay away from it. Like I mentioned previously, if you're getting a bundle deal like with the PlayStation 2 and a bunch of games, and within those games you're able to see you can kind of make your money back plus more, then it'd be wise to get it. Same thing in regards to the Xbox and the first PlayStation. But other than that, if you're not getting anything for that, then it's kind of you'll do yourself a service by not getting them at all. That's all I really wanted to mention on this episode of Retro Collecting 101, simply because an example of that came along the way where I saw a bunch of PlayStation 2s at a thrift store nearby my house, and they had them all for around $20. And this was just the brick of the PlayStation themselves. This was just the PlayStation 2 itself with no cords or anything. They would have wanted $20. There wasn't even a memory card or anything attached to it at all. So it really wasn't worth. It really wasn't worth it to me financially, but it was worth it to me to actually mention this on a podcast to educate whoever's listening. But anyway, I kind of wanted to wrap that up, especially because I just wanted to actually put a staple on the importance of this particular topic. But anyway, I want to let you guys know that this episode of Retro Collecting 101 is brought to you by Game Swappers. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade your retro games and next-gen consoles. That's PS4 and Xbox One. Keep in mind that you can follow Game Swappers on Instagram at GAMESWAPPERS. That's GAMESWAPPERS. Game Swappers, buy, sell, and trade. Keep in mind, guys, Game Swappers' buy, sell, and trade event entitled Retrospect is going to be held Sunday, June 26th from 1 to 7 p.m. at the Finish Line Sports Grill, located in Pomona, California. Be sure to hit up Game Swappers, give them a call. They'll be able to get you more information on that. As I mentioned on the Mark and Andre podcast, that there was reservations available, but now the reservations for all the tables have been booked completely, so you won't be able to actually get yourself a table. But there's still good news to this, is that you'll be able to bring retro games to buy, sell, and trade with other vendors, other people there. So think of it as a big actual like retro convention, but outdoors. It'll be fun. There's the venue. The venue you'll be able to see on the Game Swappers Instagram page. You'll be able to see how big the venue is. It's pretty large. In fact, it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. So I encourage you guys to actually show up. As me myself, I'll definitely be showing up. So be sure to get all the information that you need down, or get all the games that you need to actually show up there on Sunday, June 26th from 1 to 7 p.m. It's called Retro Respect. There's going to be free parking, free participation. You don't have to pay to get in. So that'd be the best thing I could tell you guys. Other than that, guys, keep in mind the PlayStation 2, the first Xbox, as far as the consoles go, if it's under $10, I'm talking about $8 to $5, the console themselves, a fully operational one, by all means get it. But anything above that, you're cutting into your profit margin, and it's really not worth it. Anyways, I want to leave on that note, guys. You guys have a good night. This has been Retro Collecting 101.